I want to talk about what you. How was your endurance weekend? Talk about that.
Oh, no, it was it's something I think I mentioned to Shakes and obviously just you guys earlier this week. It's something I've been trying to get into for a minute. Overall, it was my first time on a Ninja 400, second time at Jennings. And I'm part of a team versus my own bike. So, like there's some people who can just jump on other people's bike and do full send.
Yeah.
So there's that. But as far as like the track experience and, it was pretty cool. Overall, it was really cool. I had a really good time. We won our class, which is even better. It was weird because, they would like, go on the bike as much as possible, but they were all also trying to win. So I'm just kind of like, well, if there's faster riders than me, you guys go get the seat time because, I don't want to be the reason why you guys don't win and stuff like that.
So let me ask you, how many, two questions, how many riders on the team and how many hours was each race?
So it's a minimum of 3 riders. Max is 5. We had 5 on our team, and at first I thought that was kind of weird having 5 because usually it's like 3 or 4. But with the 5-hour race, it makes sense. So there's 2 3-hour race. One is the normal way at Jennings, and then one is reverse. The second race on Saturday is reverse, and then Sunday is a 5-hour race. And
don't forget the rolling start.
Yeah, and the rolling start, which that was pretty cool. So, it's the first time I started the 5-hour race, so I got to participate in the rolling start. But that was pretty cool to do. It's interesting because it's like there's fast people there, but it's like you're not really racing. It's not like sprint races and stuff like that because the bike has to survive. You know what I mean? So that's the bigger part. So, there was a lot of people in the 5-hour race, chains were breaking, popping off after 3 hours, 4 hours and stuff like that. On the 400, it was cold on Saturday and the guys elected to go with DOT tires versus slicks on Saturday. And the rest of the field had slicks. And so we finished second in our class on Saturday. And all of us probably would have been quicker if we went on slicks. But at 9 o'clock, or I think it started at 10:30, it was still pretty cold out. I mean, there was frost on the bike. It was 28 degrees at like 7 in the morning, and I think it was in the 40s by the time the race started. So it was pretty cold. So let
me ask you, which place did you end up going? Because I know that like in endurance racing, a lot of times they send the first guy is usually pretty fast. He's usually the fastest. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times with endurance racing, and a lot of people don't know this, but they set the bike up usually for the fastest guy. If a team usually goes for the fastest guy, and then they get like a happy medium where they get the shortest guy usually. If it's the tall guy, and then they go with the short guy, then they get a happy medium. How did they work with yours and who went first and everything like that?
So it was more... Well, the owner of the bike wrecked the bike on Friday, so they had to rebuild the bike on Friday. So there was no like really testing and stuff like that. And on the first race, I went last. So the owner of the team, for lack of a better word, he didn't race in the first race at all. So it was myself and 3 other guys, and I was the last one there. So I just had to. At that point, we were in second place, and we weren't going to catch the Drea siblings and the third person they had. So it was just more or less just finish the race. So for me, I just had to just keep the bike upright. It's 2.5 hours. I did the last half hour. And I didn't know how the tires were going to be and stuff like that after 3 other guys got on the bike. There was one kid, Alex. He was really fast. He was doing like, I think he got down to 126. The rest of us were all similar in times. I did my fastest time was like a 131. And similar with the other guys, I think there was a couple of guys. I think it's Paul's name. He might have got below 130. So we're all similar in times. And it was more just on physicality. How long can we ride for without being tired and stuff like that? And normally, as with sprint races and stuff, you guys know it's usually like 11 minutes, 15 minutes kind of thing. If there's like a GTU or GTO, maybe 24 minutes. So 30 minutes was the longest stint I did on a bike. And it's interesting. My fastest laps were my last couple of laps, even though I was more fatigued. But I think I was also doing less thinking, less, worrying about a lot of things, and just kind of found a groove and stuff like that. So I was in the second race. I didn't race at all. So the owner, he raced the second race. Now this guy I think he's 61, 62, and he did an hour and a half on the bike. Which was ridiculous, because I was just like, I was sitting here thinking like, man, I don't think I can do, an hour. And he did an hour and a half, which was pretty impressive. So it was only like the second race was only him and two other guys. And that helped us because it was fewer. And that's how we were able to, the second race, we beat the Drea kids because there was only three of us. He did an hour and a half where people were stopping every half hour and that kind of thing. So we made up some time on that. And so the strategy for Sunday was, they changed the chain on the bike, lubed up the chain really well. We put new slicks on with a bigger rear tire as well to hopefully not do a change in the 5-hour race. But we were able to get in like 2 hours and 15 minutes on the rear before we changed the rear, and we were able to change the rear in like 4 minutes. Believe it or not, which is pretty wild, and fuel up at the same time. So that really helped us out, and all 5 of us rode on Saturday. So I started the first race. I wanted to finish last. I didn't want to get in those guys' way, but they decided that I should go first. So I went first on new tires, which was good because you get to scrub them in and just build up the confidence, stuff like that. And then the other riders, we all kind of John, he did an hour race. He did an hour, and then Paul did like 45 minutes. I did a half hour. And then Kurt, who's the owner of the team, he finished off like the last 10 minutes. So we finished first in the 5-hour race and the second 3-hour race. But I would say this: it's pretty cool from a team environment because we're kind of locked in for the whole time. It's different. Like I've watched like the ASWA races and stuff like that. But if you're just in the stands looking, you're kind of looking for food and walking around. But with part of the team, somebody's paying attention to the rider because we might signal whether we're coming in, whether we need gas, whether something's going on with the bike and stuff like that, and just that team effort. So it's something I'd like to go. Like, so I hit you guys up. I was like, it's something I'd definitely like to do again because it's a different challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, totally different challenge. And, like, I don't know if I shared the story on how I got this trophy right here. We did a relay race at Road Atlanta. Okay. And it was actually with me and Riston, the guy who's on Cambobier's team now. Okay. It was just me and him. We were racing the next day, Saturday, Sunday at Road Atlanta with Weira, the sprint. Yeah. And the endurance was Friday. And in the endurance class, they had a relay where you could just take your own bikes. And so it was just me and him. And we did 45 minutes. And just like you said, like later in the laps, like I remember it because Road Atlanta's brutal. You got the hands, they really get you hand pumps going down the S's. And I remember like lap 8, 9, 10, I was like, this is getting crazy. And this is only like, 12, 15 minutes. And I got a 50 minute stint. Yeah. And lap 15, I'm like really feeling like tears running down here because it's kind of a little chilly still. And And then lap 20, I'm like, this is intense, but it's kind of coming back. And lap 24, I hit my fastest lap. Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
In,
I'm pretty sure there's some type scientific explanation for that, but it's almost like, all the I don't know about you guys, all the conversations I have in the first few laps with myself, it's like all of a sudden I just shut up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those
ride the daggone bike.
Well, it was motivational too. Like for me, Riston's dad was standing by the side. Riston's dad and I are really good friends, and he's like holding this thing. They're like, they brought their professional stuff. I'm like, let's do a relay thing. Yeah. Like, okay, let's get my mechanic doing this. We'll bring the tire warmers there, and this. They got a whole tree stand, everything. The Jenny put a whole tent there, and he's holding the thing up. And every lap I'm seeing it, I'm like first, +1, like plus dope. 3, +4. Yeah. Like the seconds are increasing, so I'm like getting gaps. So that kept me going. Did something like that keep you going in the race? Like some sign or something where the team's giving you signals?
We didn't have a pit board, which is something we were trying to get. I think next year we'll probably have one, or they will have one. We will have one. So really, we didn't have a lot of options for that. For me. Again, second time at the track. If you guys that been to Jennings,
Technical.
6 and 7 and 8 and 9,
Technical.
Yeah,
it's just jacking me up. So if I didn't hit one, I'm still thinking about it on the straightaway, right? So there's a lot. Like I said, I'm just like in my head, too much. And as I was able to just kind of settle down and just kind of just try to hit the apex and hit the apex. And it started coming together. If a rider passed me, I just tried to stay with them, and they gave me a tow, and that kind of thing. So it was more that. And obviously by Sunday, my second stint, I knew it fairly well, and really at that point it was. I think it's still like 7-8 because if you don't get it right, it feels weird still.
If you get 7-2 deep, then you kind of push into 8, and then you can't really set up 9 for that.
Yeah,
and then
and then 10 is
so
tight, right? It's a weird turn if you don't get 10 right.
7, you got to go in kind of wide and swoop into it really fast, right?
Yeah.
You have to swoop in fast and straighten it into 8.
Yeah.
If you try to swoop it too hard, you're gonna shave a little time.
You'll blow it.
Yeah. So there was all the other sections I was quicker. One, I was coming off too early. I always come off early on the straightaway for some reason. I just mentally, I'm always just getting off the throttle earlier than I needed to and stuff like that. So it was those things just trying to work out, just trying to just brake later. You can carry more corner speed here. Started getting the lines right, following people and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just just getting also just relaxing. There was times I was starting to muscle the bike around, and I'm just like, no, you just push the bars, bro. Push the bars. You're doing too much. And I also hadn't raced in September, so there's also that. So, but
race in September.
It's a long time, man. It's a very long time. So, but yeah, man, it's pretty cool to do and to see. And I was talking to some of the guys, they race at Weaver as well. And they were talking about the relay race and stuff like that, where you can use your own bikes. I'm like, that's cool too, because then you don't have to worry about the setup. Because that was the other thing with the bike, just the set. One, it was a setup. It's kind of everybody has their own thing they like, and so like my first crash was on Dunlops, and I haven't had Dunlops since like 2012, 13, 13, 14. So it was a grip, and it's cold out, and they're like, we're gonna run with Dunlops, and I'm just like, yo, you gotta generate a lot of heat to keep them Dunlops warm.
Even with heat, man, that's the one tire I crashed on a lot in the front.
Yeah.
Probably, knock on wood, I've never lost a front, man. And that's the one I got switched to once I got started going faster, which is
yeah. So that was the thing. So it was just kind of like, and mentally just getting past that, right? And I had no issues on the Dunlops, and stuff like that. But going into it was kind of like feeling out. Where if it was a Michelin, a Bridgestone, or a Pirelli, I probably would have pushed sooner, rather than probably like 5-6 laps in.
That's cool, man. I did one 400 endurance race in CMP. It was in the rain too. That was fun.
Yeah.
But it's slower on the 400, right? And it's unlike a 600. So I feel like you do get a little more rest in between the straightaways. Endurance, even though it's endurance, 600, I could only imagine 1,000 on endurance.
Yeah. So at Jennings, in the Saparana, you can't. It's only lightweight, so it's the biggest bike you can is I think it's more the track. Is the, like I said, R660 SV, R7. But yeah, you think about the ASRA races, the 2-hour races that these guys are doing on the 1,000, the 600. You have to be in shape. You know what I mean? To be able to do that, definitely more braking and moving the bike around. And for me, like, it was more my shoulders that were hurting, but I just think I was just a little bit too tense in the beginning, and then I had to start telling myself to relax, that kind of thing, and you breathe and rest here, rest there, that kind of thing. But it's a different way of racing. You know what I mean? Because you're thinking like the long journey versus maybe get out in front and make everybody else quit. You're not doing that.
You're not trying to attack a corner of the same intensity. It's different.
Yeah.
And that's why I prefer, that's why I liked doing so much training with coaching. Because when you're coaching, at least for me, I was doing sometimes 2 or 3 different groups. So I would literally start off with the novice, let them kind of learn a couple of things, jump in with the intermediate guys, get my tires warmed up. And then, like I said, that's about 20 minutes and that's about 8, 9 laps. And then I hammer down with the experts and try to see if I can keep up. Because usually I'm on something a lot slower, or if not, I'm not as fast as someone's got a fully built Hooters 750 Gixxer. We're not going to mention any names, but it's kind of like, dude, okay, fine, Grand Dan. At least I can keep up with you for like a half a lap. So then, and I do it all over again, so I'm really out on track for literally about, I would say about an hour, 2 hours. I literally ran through 2 tanks of gas at Miami Homestead, and a lot of people don't like Miami Homestead. It's not a bad track. Yeah, it has its kinks. But yeah, I did. I remember this 2.5 hours Miami Homestead, continuously on the track. Wow. I went through 2 tanks, 2 complete tanks, and I was kind of like, okay. So I had to, like I said, reevaluate, how I felt. Was I tense anywhere? My back, sometimes when you're pulling and pushing, you tend to keep your back really tight. And that's probably what you were feeling. Yeah. And then, like I said, doing the same thing, kind of like, hey, relax, learn how to relax. No, just move your body. Yeah. And then next thing you know, boom, I'm out for another hour. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, cool beans. That helped.
Yeah. So, and I'll say this: I was surprised that I wasn't as cold as I was. It was like the first lap, you talk, the wind is going down your suit, you're feeling it in the back of your neck, and I was just like, I hope it's not the whole race. And after a while, you forget about those things. It's just like your body starts to warm up and stuff like that. So the biggest takeaway is, if we're going to do a race like that, or indoor race, it's getting the most reliable bike. I think that's the biggest issue, is getting a bike that can do.
You mean not a V2?
Well, no, not a KTM single cylinder. Okay. What I have.
What, we're not going to do with Duke? Come on now, we're going to do Super Duke.
Nah, that might blow up after an hour. So I think that's the biggest thing is getting up, and the twins seem to be pretty solid with that. But that would be the biggest thing, is getting a bike that's solid. So when I was thinking about it, it's kind of like, I would love to do like a RS660. There was guys out there on a RS660, so I think it's doable. But then it's kind of like the tire changes. You're gonna be changing tires more on a bigger bike. And which means we need quick release and all this stuff, because even it was like I volunteered to change the take the cap off so they could pour gas in. Right, took the cap off, no problem, and I was on the right side of the bike. I couldn't get the cap back on for the life of me. Like, I literally, because I'm used to doing it on the left side, it just couldn't get
right hand.
Other guys was just like, just do it, because I'm like I don't know.
Yeah,
this has happened before.
Get away from the bike. You don't know what you're doing.
We're gonna let Bobby go out to start the race when we get the endurance team. Bobby,
you gotta get a license, man.
Listen. He said some young lady fell, broke ribs, had to go to the hospital. I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes. Carrie from Cycle Smith. They were on a Ninja 400 double R, so the inline 400, and I don't know which turn she crashed in, but she broke all the ribs on her left side and half a collapsed lung.
That's really crazy, man. And that can happen. And I got a question for y'all, man. And this is not to switch. Feel bad for her, but definitely this racing is a tough sport, and this always can happen, right? This can happen.
Airbags.
But I got a real interesting question for y'all, which has been kind of bugging me this whole week, and I've been thinking about it after me and a buddy had a debate about it. With motorcycle riding, how some people get fast and some people just never get fast. We all know how this works, right? We all know some people just get it, some people don't. What is that? Like, what is it that some people just get it and they get really fast? Yeah, I know. And I just got it. I could say that wholeheartedly. I'm not in the middle. I just got it.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand how some. And I have an analytical mind, but I have a buddy that's zero analytical. Like, just gets on a bike and doesn't care what's going on, doesn't analyze nothing, and he goes just as fast. I don't know if it's analyzing, but what is it that
I think it's genetics. I think it's genetic.
Yeah.
It's not bodybuilding. No, it's not bodybuilding.
No, I've actually heard
not in that
heard
sense.
That, Jordan. That's
but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, not in that sense. I have a buddy, and Bobby Shakes knows him, Jermaine, and this is a guy. I remember I took lessons at the golf course for like a summer and all this, and him and I went to the driving range. First time hitting golf clubs. And he's hitting the ball straight. Looks ugly as ever, his swing, but he can hit the ball straight. And I'm taking lessons and I still can't hit the ball straight. There's some people who are just naturally talented that can just learn things really quickly.
I get that, Rex, but you got to really, when you start thinking about it, you have to specify that's a physical, more physical than this in a way, because you're swinging your body. It's a musculature thing. So like, I'm thinking like with riding, what about speed and how some people just get the apex, just get the speed, the braking. And some people,
I think it's the same thing. It's you were just applying it differently.
Tuned differently.
Hand-eye coordination, right?
Yeah. Their hand-eye coordination is really good. And there's some people who are just naturally at that, and then some people have to work at it, like myself. There's something in my brain that needs to understand how everything works before I can commit. And there's some people who can just feel their way through it. Doesn't mean, I don't know if it's something you can sustain long term, because we see it in professional sports, people who are really naturally gifted, but they're hard headed, and so they eventually, you're gonna hit a wall. So it's not like it's God given that you're just gonna have it and keep it. You definitely have it, but you're still gonna have to do things to make it consistent.
Yeah. I'm definitely not the guy that just. It's not talent. It's definitely not. That's built skill for sure for me. And I studied this. I studied the tracks. I did a lot of homework, and I'm very to the point where some friends would be like, "You're overanalyzing," and I see that. But hey, man, what did they say about the paranoid are the ones that survive?
Yeah,
I've had my crashes to a minimum, and I've kept it to a speed that's pretty competitive.
I think everybody, not say everybody, but like I said, Cheetah, like I would say about 95% of us are just the same way. I can learn a track really, really fast. If I can be the fastest there, probably not. But at least I know where the lines are at, where you want to be at said speed, at said turn. If I can apply a little bit more speed to said turn and blah, 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 maybe. But, I was granted enough, skill and God willing talent to at least apply that. And I think that's where it is. Some guys, like you said, your friend just doesn't care, throws caution to the wind and throws it out there. I'm glad he hasn't, done horrible things to his body and to his machines, but he may have just that little bit of panache, that little thing, to where, I've seen guys, one guy was called the mailman, because literally he hauled the mail everywhere he went. He went to like any track, hauled the mail. I'm like, how do you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what tires you are? No. You know what settings you are? No.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? I don't know.
That's a blessing and a curse, right? Because when they have an accident, they don't go overanalyzing, maybe.
Right. They don't understand what happened. What happened to the bike? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, a blessing and a curse.
Weren't we talking about this? How we said when you move your head, your brain shuts off? Was that you were talking about that for racing?
Yeah, when you move your eyes from left to right, that transition, the brain shuts off. I took it was a California Superbike school, and they were talking about this, and they had a video of I don't know which, either World Superbike rider or MotoGP rider. They had a camera on them, and the same thing with F1 and probably a lot of the car races. They don't blink, and so they what it is, they look at their braking markers, the apex, the exit, and then the peripherals for everything else. So they don't blink, and they're not looking 10 places. They're just looking these things, and that's it. So that way, so
it could just be that, like maybe your friend is locked in. Maybe he just his peripherals is probably really good. Right?
I mean, I said the same thing. I've actually coached that to somebody else, to where I don't know if you coach this to someone else, Cheetah, to where their head is down or they're looking right and directly in front of them, and I'm telling them like, no, pick your head up,
Vision.
look further down the road, and because they say, oh, I'm so tired, I'm just so tired. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, is your head tired? Is your body tired?
Yeah.
I'm just tired. And it's just like, because they're using eye fatigue, they're
for
doing
sure.
that all the time.
Bro,
to where if they just look forward.
When it's beautiful when you see the GP riders because they got a camera on the back, right? And you see them and you hear the bike and you can see where they are at the apex and they go right to the apex. And before they even get off the brake, because you can hear the brake applications on, their head goes slink and just turn to the exit. And you'll see, if you ever seen a Hawk, it does the same thing. If they have a camera on the back of a Hawk and it goes, and it's like the head's moving so fast and it spins the body and it's like, it's looking where it's going to go before it moves. So for a rider having inputs on the hand, from the hand to the brain, if you know there's a millisecond, whatever microsecond there is delay, wouldn't you want to have that advantage of already looking? Right. To have that input ready to go.
And I know I learned that from John Hopper. I'm always looking through the corner. The bike is doing whatever I need it to do, braking, entering the corner. By the time I'm entering the corner, obviously my position's already set up for the entry. And by the time I'm actually, I would say, finishing my braking, the bike is already pointed around the apex, maybe a couple of feet away from it. But around the apex, I'm already looking at the exit. Because if the bike finishes what it's going to do, I need to be there.
Yep.
So that's literally my next goal. It's like, okay, once I finish this, I'm like I said, my head is already there and I'm off and I'm back on the throttle. And it's like, okay, now I need to get right there. So it takes a little while to get there. But like I said, it's just like, once you're able to put all those things together, it becomes like Rex found out, it almost becomes second nature because then you stop thinking.
Yeah.
You stop overanalyzing things. And it's just kind of like, okay, let the bike do its thing. I'm just going to guide it. Okay, I need to be over there. Boom, it's over there. Okay, what's the next thing?
Okay.
Got to get to this next corner. And then it just goes one after another. And like I say, keeping those eyes up. I've found a lot of people doing that. They've got their eyes down because they're looking for, I don't know what they're looking for in front of them, instead of keeping their eyes up, looking further down, and they have way less fatigue, way less eye strain. And I've seen a lot of people, like you said, tearing.
Yep.
And I find myself not blinking either. If I blink, I feel like I missed something. So I strategically breathe. I've learned that. I strategically breathe. And if I do have to blink, I will purposely keep my eyes open until I finish something, then I'll blink.
Yeah. When I'm trying to get better at it. I'm not 100%, but I literally used to be looking at my braking marker, the apex, past the apex, back to my braking marker, like check 3 times and cut once type of thing. I was using my eyes way too much.
Dude, I know people when I used to coach, there was a guy that multiple people, but a few people that like just multiple brake applications before the apex.
Yeah.
Going into one turn because of like they don't know what to do. And me and my buddy, I have a buddy named David, and I remember me, him, and Mesa had a battle. Stefano Mesa, Barber, and he was checking out, and Mesa was catching him, and within lap 2, he caught him. Lap 2.5, 3 laps, Mesa and him switched places, and I was watching the whole thing. I was in third, and I remember, man, one thing about me and David are like we're very similar pace. But I brake deeper than him every single turn, and he outgasses me at turns. So I picked up on it, and eventually I caught up to his speed a little bit to where and what I realized was his vision. I started following him a few times. I could have braked a couple times deeper than him, but let me follow him and see what he does. He's just looking further and getting on the gas really fast. I mean, he leaves darkies on every turn on a 600. And so I started I'm leaving darkies with him every turn. We're both leaving darkies. And he got behind me once. He's like, dude, you're starting to rip it out of those corners. I can see a line going every corner. And it's like crazy that these bikes can do that at a 600. You wouldn't think they can leave darkies the whole way like that.
I will say I'm still trying to get to that point. Once I realized, getting on the gas, coming out the apex, it helps you turn.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, and I've tried, but it's still like the brain is still like, bro, nah, we ain't going that. We ain't doing that.
Once you get used to feeling the back wheel kind of break out a little bit, and then it's kind of like, okay, is it okay? Is it okay? But then, like I said, you know, you don't want to go too crazy on it because you know, you can easily do a semi high side.
Oh yeah.
I've
done that.
I've had fun with those. Yeah. I like those.
Yeah. So it's interesting that we, you know, as humans, you know, we all learn at different pace, and you know, you know, look at Kobe Bryant, who is not a skilled basketball player. He's a trained basketball player, right? Where LeBron James is probably more naturally talented. He's also trained, but more naturally talented, because from the stories we hear about Kobe, there's a lot. He's in a gym practice and everything. It's not like he naturally had, you know, he wasn't, you know, Kemp or Ja Morant, these guys that seem to just naturally do things. You know, it's, but we all get to the same place in our depending on how we train, we all can still be at the same top level, even though, you know, Cheetah, you might be doing something better in one area, and you're talking about your buddy who's doing something better in a different area, but maybe still have similar lap times, right?
Yeah, exactly. And going back to the training, you know, like Kobe thing, it's like some people train to get something right, and some people train to where they can't get it wrong. Right. And that's the difference sometimes. Yeah. And budget sometimes is the differentiating factor in motorcycles between doing that, right? You can't go there. Tires.
And also, you know, I think with motorcycle racing, you know, how big your heart is. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I've said this in the past. Like when I used to, when I first started getting into racing, I used to see these guys and women in the paddock and stuff like that, and it was a certain air about them. You know what I mean? And what I realized is it's almost like going to war. You're so you're so in the present. You're so in the moment, and I think that takes a little bit of time to find that, because it's like going to play basketball. Yeah, you might, you know, sprain an ankle and something like that, but you're not going to break, you know, all the ribs on one side. So I think it's, you know, it's also realizing, you know, what you're doing could also change your life drastically if it turns out wrong.
Yeah.
What was that girl's name who had that accident?
Carrie Smith. She's part of Cycle Smith, one of the co-owners of Cycle Smith Track Days. And I think the bike fell on her. As she said, she saved the bike so the rest of the team can finish the race.
Wow!
Don't save it like that. No, we'll fix the bike.
We'll definitely fix the
bike. Prayers are going out to Carrie and the family. I'm not going to go into a big long spiel, but yeah, I believe that you know, it was divine that, you know, she came out of that accident. I wouldn't say unscathed, but at least with her life. Other people didn't do that. Peter Lenz, I don't know if anybody remember him. He was a very, very young up and coming racer. I got a chance to meet him twice. Met him once at, I believe, Robin Road. The second time was at Jennings, where he was on his little Milwaukee 90, whatever, and ripping it up big time. And this is when AMA Pro, I think, was one of their last years, went up to Indianapolis for the GPRU, and he had gotten to a freak accident. And I believe, I wasn't there, but from the stories that I was heard, that something happened to him and someone like ran into him in the back of his suit or something like that, and kind of, you know, unlived him on the track.
Right.
So yeah, we want to definitely keep carrying everybody else in your prayers, because like I said, we love the sport, but you know, that's why airbags.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we love it, right? Isn't that the human nature side of it? Like, we love being close to death. Like, it's, why do people rock climb? Why do people hang off those buildings? You know, those kids that are
tiptoeing and stuff like that.
It's something you can't just low side and come back from, right? There's no airbag for that.
Like you say, right? If you're not willing to die, you're not willing to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like Cheetah said, you know, his partner is just kind of like just pins it, and he doesn't, you know, think about anything else. God bless him. You know, I wish I could be a little bit like that 9 times out of 10, but you know, I've got other responsibilities that I have to take care of after the track. So I just have to make sure I get, back in one piece. But man, I wish I could do a little bit more of that. Just pin it and let it go.
I would say it may be closer to an age thing, because when I was younger, I was the same way in the car. I was just in the car. I was, not on a bike, but I was definitely reckless and
young,
crazy.
dumb, and full of.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to, sound like,
Do you think that he's reckless, or that the fact that his brain is just able to slow down the game that's happening in front of him?
He's wired differently. He's wired differently.
I don't think I was reckless when I was doing it. You're just in the moment. When you're younger, you don't think anything's going to go wrong. It's like, you don't, where you're a little bit older and you have, kids and or more responsibilities in a sense. You start to think about those things when you're like, it's just you never think like, oh, something's going to go wrong.
Exactly. No, it's like when you just don't know much about life, so it's, you don't have responsibilities. You don't have to, all you got to do is wake up.
Not a care in the world.
Yeah.
You just got to be home on time and food's ready. Everything's ready, right? So you're a kid.
He goes home for his milk and cookies.
Yeah.
That is it. But, as we talk about the dangers of motorcycle racing, I will say there's racers and riders that, have jacked themselves in the paddock on little scooters and stuff like that, like bicycles. So it's not necessarily a motorcycle that's going to do you in, or, break your ribs or smash your face and stuff like that. I think the motorcycle community gets a bad rap, but skateboarders are smashing their face. BMX dudes are smashing their face.
Yeah. Right.
Snowboarders, skiers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think all us track riders know that just as far as a motorcycle goes, being on track is much safer than being on road. If you're going fast, that is. If you're being just, going around, hitting a lot of miles, you're going to be safer on track.
Yeah. Santiago Vila had a same thing to where he broke his wrist, hand, and something else at Robin Roads. I was there. I was not crew chiefing, but I was chiefing, crewing with him. And broke his hand or something else. Came back the next day, broke his leg. Put back the bike, broke his leg, and I don't think he finished the first one. He didn't finish the second race, and he was just kind of walking around. I'm all good. And then next thing you know, he gets back to Colombia, and like 2 weeks later, got into another street accident, bad one, and he had all his gear on, blah blah blah. He was sponsored by Heroic, so Todd hooked him up big time. But had a street gear on, and that was his worst accident, was when he was on the street. Like I said, he had 2 accidents at the racetrack, was walking.
Yeah.
One accident on the street, was crippled for like months.
Dang.
Yeah. How is he now?
He's passed away. Santiago Vila passed away about, holy cow, Taylor's 20 now. About 7 years ago.
Wow.
He passed away. Yeah. He got long story short, I'm not gonna degrade his fame, because like I said, he was a really, really good guy. Loved him to death. He loved my family. My kids loved him. Mostly my oldest daughter, Taylor. I got a picture with him and her before he had the accident.
Mm.
But he got into another accident, and all in Colombia, just street riding on his Yamaha R1 that he didn't need to be riding, but he loved motorcycles that freaking much. It's kind of like, I'm gonna ride to work, I'm gonna ride here, I'm gonna ride there, and then Colombia streets.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I think that can happen anywhere, and Nikki Hayden on a bicycle. It's just I think I think we can't. I think some people can get caught up in the manner in which people get hurt and think that if they didn't do something, they be okay. And every time I trip, I'm always close to a column or something. So
right. If it's your time, it's your time. You ain't have no power, no say in it whatsoever.
Right.
I said, enjoy your life to the fullest. Yeah. Because you only got one life to live. So
I have permission to turn the darkness up into a little bit of light here.
Hey, pin it.
Turn the dark, get the little dark there. Y'all heard about a Top Rack breaking his finger?
I was just going to segue into that when we were talking about people breaking themselves up.
This is the light.
No,
this is the light.
But speaking about that,
Bobby,
you know he
topped
it off, right? You know he topped it off, right?
Say. Bobby, he comes back from a broken finger after missing how many days? I think it's 20.
He missed the Jerez test. He missed the Jerez test. Came back for the Portimao test. Did I think less than
50 laps on day one and goes first.
Yes, less than 60 laps and got the number one. But look at the times. The times were tight. I mean, 0.2 of a second between Top Rack and was it Bassanini? Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah. But I mean, hey, Garrett Gerloff did the most laps out of everybody on a brand new bike. He's still learning and still was top 10.
He's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast.
So people talk about that Kawasaki is done. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about the rider. Top Rack already did what he needed to do with the BMW, but the Kawasaki, I think, is still making ways to get back on top. Because I can see that happening next. If it don't happen this year, it's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
And Cheetah, I know you got a Kawasaki, so I'm not going to talk too bad about the Kawasaki.
I don't like the ZX10. It's okay.
I don't know.
Like Darth Vader?
I think it's a big.
You don't like Darth Vader?
In the
Darth Vader.
The 10. I guess it does look like him a little bit.
I have a 10. I have a 2018 ZX10. I've crashed it.
18. That's not Darth Vader. That's not Darth Vader.
Oh, the newest one or something?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think Kawasaki has a chance if anything, I think Lowe's on a Kawasaki has the best bet because he has the most seat time on it. But really, I mean, do you think they're going to be in the talk this year?
I hope so.
Yeah, I really hope so too. Right. Lowe's, with all of his experience, like you said, I mean, he should be topping everything. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's coming of age to where he's not pinning it where he should be. I don't know what's going on, but even Johnny Ray was written off for many, many years, even when he downgraded from MotoGP down to World Superbike. And once he finally got his groove, besides getting off a Honda.
Johnny Ray was in MotoGP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Read it.
Was he on Yamaha briefly or something?
I think it was Yamaha. But he did that for a hot minute, and then Cheetah's gonna look it up. But yeah, he 2
MotoGP starts.
Yeah, it's
Wikipedia though. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, don't go Wikipedia. Don't go that crap.
Okay.
But yeah. Once he was able to get his footing with that Kawasaki, and then like I said, everyone else almost had to catch up with him.
Well, yeah. I mean, he won 6 world titles in a row. Yeah, so definitely
was a really, really good rider. And then, like I said, everyone started catching up to what Kawasaki was kind of doing. But their rules are just way, way more expanded than everybody else's. So I mean, they've got cheat codes that no one knows about that they keep on a super duper low that they don't let anybody know. And then, like I said, I think he exploited that stuff, and that's the reason why he's got the 4 titles. Easy peasy. I don't know if you noticed that. Those 4 titles he got back to back, easy peasy. The last 2 he had to work for, because not the Kawasaki, the
BMW was bad. Ducati was bad. There was only Yamaha. I mean, it was only Yamaha back then that was fighting with him.
No, it was Ducati. Well, Ducati had a run, but like I said, this was back when the 1199, so they had to do a whole new redesign. So that's what he took off. He was kind of really? Boom, I'm gone. So those last 2 championships, he really had to fight for. I mean, besides, other riders coming in and really challenging him, he had to really fight for those last 2.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll say that.
I want to see how Kawasaki comes along this year, because they got like 4 riders. I mean, come on now. They're doing what Honda did in GP. They're just flooding everybody and just like test this, test that. Let's throw everything at it and see what sticks.
All right. Yeah, I would say I think it'd be hard for Kawasaki. BMW has a really good platform this last year, and Ducati's had it for three. Well, they've had it when Batista first came, but they didn't really seal the deal like they should have. So I think Kawi's going to be hard, and I think just because they just don't have the same level of tech. I think that's the biggest thing with Kawasaki. I don't think it's the engine. I don't think they have the same level of tech what BMW has and Ducati. I think they just have better equipment. I don't think all the riders are really fast. I just think it's just they're just on better equipment.
I know for a fact that BMW for a couple of years, the 1000RR and the 1000R was the most, not the most powerful besides Ducati, and they was literally over them too. They had the most horsepower. They just couldn't put it down. They always had trouble putting it down. And I remember the two versions before the RR now, they had a buttload of electronics trying to control the power. Because I mean, the first production bike that had over 210 horsepower out the box, and no one can control it. And they had technicians throwing everything in them, and their grandkids at that daggone rear tire that they could not save. Right. Now they've got it linked in. I think they've got it linked in for a while.
What are your thoughts, Cheetah?
I'm curious, man. I'm not fully up to date on exactly what's going on with this Kawasaki new team, because they were supposed to not come back, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so what happened there? Did they just get financing? Does anyone know the story?
They partnered with Bimotor. They partnered with them. So I think it's Bimotor chassis and Kawasaki frame. Yeah. I mean, Kawasaki engine kind of deal. So it's more of a partnership. So in theory, it's a different bike.
Yeah. I'd be curious because Axel Lowe's is very strong. So has that what's been the up? Because what happened in the Portimao test? Did anyone see the results fully?
No.
I was looking at it a while ago. Top rack was takes pole, broken finger, highlights. Trying to find the actual standings.
Yeah, they don't give you the results like before.
Here it is. Hold on. Day 2, actually, Alex Lowe's has topped it.
Yeah, are we in day 3 now, or?
Oh, is it day 3 now?
Today's the third day.
Never mind then. Day 3, Top Rack took it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, the cool thing is, racing is going to start in a little over a month. A little under a month at this point, right? Because I think it's around the 20th and stuff like that. Shakes, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, there's no Harley on the grid, so.
I mean, I do like the fact that a lot of European and Asian riders will be joining Motor America to give it more diversity. I'm hoping that will grow the sport, because you'll see new talent and go, maybe we should get involved. I'm all for the evolution of the sport. I'm all for new people coming in. I like the new VR system that they're going to be doing with the social media stuff. So I'm pretty pumped on the technical side. The riding side, no clue what the hell's going on.
What are they doing with the VR side, you said?
I got it right here. I got all my show notes here.
All right. Look at you, man.
Hold on a second here.
I want to see.
They're going to do a high definition.
I want to see more Harleys. I really want to see more Harleys getting into it, because they've always downed them, and they've always played that, Harleys and Indians, they're only made for this and that, yada yada yada. Now that they've got them decked out for actual racing now, I mean, dude, I don't know if everybody knows was the V2 or the Harley Dragster, whatever it was, they made a couple years ago.
What is it called? V-Rod.
V-Rod, there it is. Thank you. The V-Rod. No one knew that bike was modeled after the championship-winning Harley-Davidson Dragster. I don't get it. And like I said, even people in the motorcycle industry, it was kind of like, really? What? It's kind of like, dude, that was the first oil-cooled Harley-Davidson. Really?
Yeah.
Look it up.
Did Porsche have something to do with that motor? Maybe.
I've heard something like Porsche or Rolls Royce.
Yeah, Porsche has something to do with that motor.
Yeah. So I mean, they pulled out all the stops for that, and I'm glad that they did. And like I said, now they're evolving their classic style to a newer, sportier style that will hopefully get the younger generation into it and kind of drive them in. Because I know we're a multi-billion-dollar industry, but if we don't have the youth coming in and doing the Steve McQueen jumps and Bullet Train and stuff like that, then it needs to happen. I'm showing my age. My bad.
I know. We got to be careful about that. No, they're bringing the high definition virtual reality, offering fans an immersive viewing experience with multiple camera angles. So you can put the headset on and you could see camera angles.
That'd be cool. I saw that ad for NBA doing something like that with the VR, and you sit courtside.
See, I think what I love,
commercial.
What I love about racing, motorcycle racing, and F1 is I love the radio. Like, if I could just listen to the radio.
I thought you just said you got to be careful about your age, man.
Yeah, right. Like, I just love the paddock talking to the rider or the driver, and I think that would bring more fans in because that is the intensity, right? The racing, it's just guys going around in a circle, but you want to hear the rider saying, "Hey, asshole, the brakes ain't working. You gave me the wrong tires. I'm low on fuel. The suspension's not set up. The computer's not chipping in." I want to hear that drama.
It's probably not that detailed, man. It's probably a lot of F words, a lot of B words, a lot of non-PG-13 words. That's really it.
If you put it with Bobby Fong and Josh Herron, I guarantee you it's going to be exactly just that. Not too much. Well, actually say no. Jake the Snake, he curses a lot also, but he doesn't really curse a lot often. Cam doesn't curse a lot either. He's pretty laid back. But yeah, if you put it in Josh, Hayes, or Herron, Bobby Fong, yeah, you'll definitely get F-bombs left and right.
Yeah, that's how you feel it, right? Because like these sports, it works on all senses, right? You see the car go by, then you hear the sound, right? Yeah. Now we want to see the emotion of the rider. And I think with Motor America this year, they're going to bring the emotion of the rider in. And then with the VR stuff, they'll have more behind the scene footage like, how do you put gas in the bike? Right? Like just the little stupid things like, oh, wow, what is that cover over the tire? And I think that type of stuff will bring more people in. Oh, that's how they warm the tire. Why do they warm the tire? Well, they warm the tire because of this. Because it's very hard to explain that sport if you haven't been in it, right? So how can we get the guys in? I'm pretty pumped about these new technical advances. I mean, I just love it.
I will say that they tested the radio, I believe, last year in MotoGP, and I think pretty much all the riders are against it, or they talked about it at a round or something like that.
It was distracting.
They don't want what Formula One has as far as being able to talk. Because I don't know if you know Bobby Shakes. The riders get the final say once they choosing their tire. If they decide to come in or not, that's all up to the rider. Which is interesting because, for these manufacturers, they still leave it. They still follow that rule. If, like Lorenzo and Dovizioso, when they were telling him to change position and stuff like that, and Lorenzo ignored it, but he said that he was faster. That's why he ignored it. But nonetheless, that stuff still comes down to the rider. Where other sports, so you look at Jimmy Butler and these guys getting benched and all that, they don't get the same say.
Yeah.
But I think, I can see where riding a motorcycle, your brain hurts more after a ride than any other part of your body because you're using your brain. You are using your brain. Where F1, you're in a car. The G forces, but you're still driving a car. Right, with motorcycle, you're like, so imagine some guy in your ear.
I don't know, man.
I know. I was gonna say,
let me ride this thing.
Rex, what you think about that? I think Formula One's worse.
I think it's the same.
Formula One may be worse. I think you know why. Here's why. This is my theory.
It's a car versus a motorcycle, so you're still in a cage, right? You're still in a cage.
Here's why.
Motorcycle.
Here's my theory. Right. the more physical aspects you take out of a sport, the more mental it becomes.
Right.
So if you're moving side to side on the bike, you're still kind of physically active and your adrenaline's higher. Of course, your adrenaline's high as hell in a Formula One car too. So I think that's what keeps it going. But in a Formula One car, you're really just bracing yourself and doing this the whole time. And like this, just right there. Right on a bike, you're like leaning over a little more. So I don't know. I feel like mentally draining it, and especially the speeds, how fast everything's coming at you in Formula One. I don't know. I just feel like from a spectator standpoint, it's probably more intense.
Yeah.
I've heard that being in those cars, you experience a lot of G's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I seen it on different TV shows. I think one of them was like Top Gear, to where they actually put a Geiger counter, I guess you call it, and found out how much G's they actually was putting just laterally.
Yeah.
Not acceleration and braking, just laterally. And they was hitting up to 3, almost 4 G's. That's a lot for anybody. And I mean, imagine, like you said, Cheetah, like you're sitting in a little cocoon to where you can barely move. That's pretty much all the leverage that you pretty much have is to turn the steering wheel. But you turn the steering wheel and you've got 200 pounds of force pushing you this way onto your chest, onto your arm, onto your shoulder. And then you got to maintain your line, your speed, your trajectory, all that stuff. And you got to do it again in another half second. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a F1 lover, but I mean, kudos to them for doing that. I've hit 2 G's on a bike, and it wasn't fun.
Well, not only that, they also have all these.
I think you can't hit 2 G's on a bike physically. Don't know if that's accurate, but like I saw a video on YouTube, Mike on Bikes. He has a great breakdown of why that's impossible, because the way once you get past 1 G forward, it starts to endo. So anything past that, it will fold, and 1 G backwards is a wheelie. After that, like he has a pretty, and he's scientific. I don't know. It's interesting how that works.
So if I didn't hit 1 G, and I definitely hit. Oh, if I didn't hit 2 G's, I definitely hit 1 G easily. And doing that over and over and over again, like I said, it takes a wear on you. It takes if you're not conditioned, then it does take a wear on you. So yeah, I think both of them, like Rex said, both of them are very similar, just in different aspects, different ways. And I think that's why Lewis Hamilton, obviously multi-champion F1 driver, that he actually enjoys riding also. And I don't know if everyone know that he actually had a bike made for him. I think it was a Triumph, and they actually did that for him. And I mean, it didn't go as great as he would like it to be, but he's got a bike named after him.
Yeah. I think MV Agusta did one for him too.
It was one of those, MV Agusta or Triumph.
Guys, perfect transition. Lewis Hamilton, I heard somebody on a bike, on a MotoGP bike, went 4 seconds slower than the slowest rider on the grid. You know, if that's real, that is so fast.
That's fast.
That is so fast. That's not like fast on a GP bike.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If that's real, wow. Like I feel like if you put me on one of those GP bikes, I'm going to be at least 10 seconds off, just off rip, because it's like it's a different thing. It's like 1,000cc bike off rip is different. I mean, me versus the fastest guy, the slowest guy it's not comparable, but like the fastest Barbara lap time is a 25.9 on a 600, but that's 750. The real 600 was like a 26.9.
Right.
I'm a 30 flat. So I could only imagine on 1,000, it's going to be like 6, 7, 8 seconds off at least. So how the heck is he only 4 seconds off? Does anyone know about that?
No, I don't know about that, but like I said, that training, he does constant training all the time. And his body's used to those G's. I mean, he could, with some skill, like I said, because he's been riding. A lot of people know that he's not an avid rider, but he does ride.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he knows how to turn a corner.
And I would say the Formula One cars don't have a lot of feel, and neither does the MotoGP bikes have. That's the hardest part, is for these guys to get a feel on these bikes. And I don't want to sit here and say you have to be like a neurosurgeon or a brain surgeon, but you know, if the suspension is so stiff that you really can't get that for normal people. Because I haven't ridden a MotoGP bike, I have no idea. You have to be very sensitive, right? Or just just know these things already. From what I understand, these guys, they have these tracks memorized. They know what gear they're gonna be in. They know the camber. They know how the car is gonna react. And I think the same thing with MotoGP guys. They're not racing with just their skill set. It's like, this is what we're doing. These are the things that we do in every lap, and their goal is to try to hit that.
Yeah.
So it looks like he does track days.
He does.
He races.
Yeah, he does everything.
Yeah.
He jumps out of plane. He does everything. Like
when I was working for PlayStation, they're like, what is that video game called? Gran Turismo. They're like, Gran Turismo is going to come in, and you're going to have to do some car racing education. I'm like, it's a video game.
But they make it so real.
All the car races, because you can't go to the track during the off season, so they race the video game.
Visual. Yeah.
Visually. So now I guess if he's going to these tracks all the time, he just memorizes it, right? Like he just knows, it's just second nature.
Yeah.
I've seen
a video with Mark Marquez. Even there was I think a Formula One driver. Somebody was making exhaust sounds, and he was telling which tracks.
It was Marquez. I think it was Marquez that was sharing the downshift.
Yeah. And he's telling you which corner, which corner.
They can tell. Yeah, they can tell which tracks. No, which track? Yeah,
which track? Yeah. What day? Is it raining, sunny? That was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was going to show you all this if you want to see this. The pictures from that the Rossi and Lewis Hamilton.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
That's bananas, though. That is absolutely.
It kind of looks a little real too. I mean, like he might have been doing it. Hard to say. Let's see what y'all think.
I think I might have to bring it in. It's interesting how it. Can I? Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a few years ago.
Great quality photo. No. I don't think it's a few years ago. Was this?
Yeah. I think Rossi was with the Petronas Yamaha team.
Okay, so this isn't this one then. My bad.
And I think Hamilton crashed on a track or something like that, and they that's why I don't think we ever got to see the videos.
Oh, so this wasn't the one where he was 4 seconds off.
Scroll down, scroll up again.
Yeah, up.
Keep going up. Is that not the great? Keep going up. No, keep going up. Look at that picture right there.
This one?
Yeah. Isn't that not the greatest picture ever?
Yeah.
Come get some.
Yeah, for real.
You want to see that in a bigger one? I think I had that one right there. Where was it? Oh, look at this one. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
The doctor's dangle.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's a good picture.
Look at that.
That's dope.
That's dope.
That is dope.
That just lets you know that this is what I do. If that doesn't tell you this is what I do, then I don't know what it says.
So where you mentioned that, before before Rossi went to Ducati, he thought about going to Formula One. Imagine if he would have went, especially now that he's racing in these other series. Do you guys, do you think he would have been competitive?
Nah.
Because he did test the car, and he
did really good. He also did what's that off-road navigation?
The Dakar.
No, wait, we're talking about Rossi right now.
Yeah, Rossi.
Yeah, no.
They drive in the Subaru and the Ford
rally car, maybe.
Rally car. And he bought like a couple of cars and did some fun stuff, and then threw it into a couple of trees, not just one, couple of trees. And he's kind of like, I think I'm gonna stick to motorcycle racing. I'm better at that. So I mean, getting in an F1 car is fun, but to be at that level, Lewis Hamilton, Vettel, and all those other guys. Stay in there.
Not at that age. But he does do car racing, right? Still,
Yeah, he's racing with BMW.
Yeah, he's got a couple teams.
One advantage he does have that his body hasn't been deteriorated by that much G-forces. So even at that age,
I don't know what.
That's the problem with why they're saying Hamilton is done is because the G-forces have deteriorated his nervous system.
Really?
That's why they don't want to give him the big money, because the G-forces deteriorate your nervous system. So reaction time, we'll see.
I mean, I listen.
Say black don't crack. We'll see.
If Lewis is finishing like 18th and 19th, I can see that. I mean, what do you say for the other riders that are young that's not beating Max? Because it's not just Lewis that's not beating Max.
Yeah.
Also, too, it's the car too, right? So Rossi would have to know car engineering, because not only do you drive the car, you also got to help build the car.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Rossi's a god.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a unique individual where
I'll put him in 4. Put him fourth on the line there on the grid. Fourth on the grid. But you know who's going to be first on the grid?
Who?
Vizioso will be first.
Oh, stop it!
I
don't know what grid you're talking about. No disrespect to Vizioso at all.
In the Ferrari red, just a lateral move, baby. Lateral move for my boy. Come on, Jordan. Lateral move from Ducati.
Marquez in a freaking red Ferrari. Ooh,
Marquez would be in a Honda Civic.
No.
Oh, stop it.
But hey, don't say that, because he'll still be competitive. Yeah. Marquez will still be competitive in a freaking Civic.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, he's also tested Formula One, Pedrosa, these guys. I mean, when you're at that level, that they give you cars to test and bikes to test that regular people like us don't get to see.
Remember, Pedrosa was supposed to do the testing. He was supposed to be the test rider once he retired, and then he kind of unretired and did a wild card, and then did another wild card. So,
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Well, he might break ties with KTM after this season with all the troubles they're having. What is going to be the bigger draw this year, you guys? World Superbike, MotoGP.
I was literally looking at that at work today, and it's just I was thinking the exact same thing. You are in my head today. It's literally going to be a toss up.
Yeah,
you want Toprak to go back again. I want him to really fight for it. I also want other people to kind of join in that battle to see if they can actually compete and fight for, to knock Toprak off his glory right now. So getting back to MotoGP, it's just like, can Marquez grab that elusive one that he's missed on his title? That he's
gonna grab that. He's gonna grab that.
It's looking like he is, but I told you before, I'm not a Marquez fan, so I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon. I just think that it's going to be a wild card that's going to come into it. I just can't put my finger on it right now. But yeah, I think he's going to have a little bit more battling to do to get that next title.
I know. I think Moto of America makes a push, more diversity. More diversity.
You really pushing Moto America when we're talking MotoGP and World Superbike shakes. I mean, you're still on that Suzuki sidekick, bro. Come on.
I don't have my Moto America shirt on. Don't worry about that. I don't have my Moto America.
Moto America's
year of our backers, man. The Indian and the Harley.
No, Moto America's still going real strong, but GP and World Superbike.
I think it grows. More diversity. Diversity. I'm willing to put my money on it. My mouth where my money is.
I will say this. Before last season, I would have said Marc Marquez. Well, I guess I did say he might have had a chance in 25, but after last season, he looks like he's the person that everybody else has to try to beat. Which I didn't really think I would be saying that this year. But after last season, seeing what he's done, like, and having Martin leave and and Bezecchi leave and these other guys leave. It's really just, Echo, Morbidelli, Di Giannantonio, and, the Grazzini team that's going to fight off Marquez. I think all the other brands are going to struggle, and it's going to be a Ducati thing. And I think, you mentioned Top Rock and BMW. There's going to be a lot of Ducatis fighting this year in World Superbike. I don't think he's going to have the same. I think they're going to be more competitive this year, and I don't think Top Rock is going to run away with it like he did last year. I think the BMW, the Ducatis struggled, and Bulaga was a rookie. He did more than anyone can ask, and he was a better rookie than Pedro Acosta.
Oh yeah. Hands down.
Oh, speaking of Bulaga, did y'all watch the Race of Champions?
I didn't see it.
Yes.
Y'all never watched the Race of Champions?
The Ducati one, right?
Last thing. Bulaga gets taken out by Marc Marquez.
Yeah. That's pretty. Like, what do you say to that? I mean, you got, what do you say? What do you say to that? Because Marquez is just like,
I thought my bad. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay.
Does it show you how much of a killer Marquez is when he does something like that?
Yeah.
Even in a charity kind of race, I'm still like going all the way.
Yeah, man.
They have no stop.
He's got that Senna mindset, man. He's got that Senna mindset, that killer mindset. Senna was real peaceful, but if y'all ever watched Senna, they put Senna and all the other F1 racers in the same stock Mercedes-Benz. Y'all ever seen that race?
No.
Senna smokes him. Y'all need to go watch that. That's where like you see true skill when they put you all in the same car and Senna still wins. And that's when you see true skill. That's when everything's the same.
That's why I like WRC, because they're all literally on all the same bike and the skill level separates them.
Yeah. And same thing with Moto E. I mean, there could be a petition to say all Ducatis on the grid for MotoGP. That'll be exciting to see. So I mean, what do you guys think? Are they outside of the Ducati for MotoGP? Any other manufacturers that's going to stand out?
I mean, MotoGP has I'm not saying MotoGP, but Ducati has 8,000 teams. They're all on freaking Ducatis.
We could just hope Aprilia, and Martin do something together. That's what we can see.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I mean, remember that Yamaha a couple years ago? They had 8,000 teams,
right?
And now Ducati's doing the same thing. They're flooding everybody with Ducatis.
Ducati's not doing it. It's the other companies that want the Ducatis. Ducati's because
you can't compete with anything else. You can't compete with anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, Yamaha. What's his name? Not Marquez. What's his Maverick? Maverick. No, Maverick was pissed. He was like, "Dude, I don't have enough power. Where's my power at?" That's why he got kicked off the team.
They fired him.
He's like, "Dude, I've got no freaking power."
Yeah.
So
they fired him.
Quick, fast, in a hurry. Because they said, "Oh, dude," but he's pissed off because he didn't have any power. Honda had power before, and now that's slowly, dwindling away. No one's talking about that anymore. It's kind of like, okay, well, like I said, Ducati had a lot of power. Even
turn.
When,
they couldn't turn.
They couldn't turn.
They couldn't put it down to where they needed it to do. But Honda was able to do that and mostly kill them on the straightaways. But then, like I said, Yamaha's always been good in cornering. But they've never had top speed.
Did Marquez sign a 2-year agreement or just a 1 year?
2 year.
2 year. 2 year.
Locked in.
I don't think GP at that at the factory level does 1 year.
Yeah. Well,
no, they did it with Petrucci and they did it with Jack Miller.
Yep.
They did a 1 year deals with those guys.
And it wasn't factory. Remember?
It was factory.
No. And the Beast,
Miller had that, right? Miller had that 1 year factory deal. He had 2 1 year factory deals, and then he wouldn't sign back for another 1 year factory. That's why he went to KTM for the 2 year deal because he didn't want the 1 year deal anymore. And
do the same.
So, which is, I mean, it is
makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of more options for B riders, than A. So you know, if they want to test out who's the B, who's going to fit with this A rider, who's going to mesh well with them on track, all that matters. So
I think that's the problem, right? I mean, when you look at like the beginning of the show, we talked about the bikes that are just selling. Yamaha Honda's like, do we really have to invest all this money into the sport when we could just
sell violins and
to the finish line, generators and scooters
and snow blowers and
why Yamaha? It comes with a free violin. You can stand at the finish line.
I will say though,
I think that's the problem. I think the problem is I don't know what Ducati's mission statement is, but
buy red, baby.
Yamaha and Honda, they're like, man, this is silly. Kawasaki, Suzuki, this is silly.
I would say Honda and Yamaha may have to be careful because if you check the pulse of the street community, everybody wants Ducati and thousands. I mean, BMW want the S1000s when I say thousands. I mean, and the last couple of years easily, the last 4 years, 5 years, BMW has been selling a lot of S1000 RRs. And I know. Yeah, Honda might have 1 billion bikes out there, so they may have a long way to go. But it's 10 years from now, if they haven't figured it out, it could be all BMW and Ducati.
The thing is, they have other bikes. That's the thing. They have a huge market share over the world. That's non-race bikes. They're able to support but we are seeing all these bikes starting to come and go. Like the 600 starting to die away. The thousands. I mean, you could see Kawasaki and Honda have had to step it up. Honda forever, that Fireblade was trash. It was just whatever it was, So they had to step it up to now have the Triple R, which is a beast. And if they keep going that direction, they'll, everyone's going to have to force to level up to where now the thousands are always going to have all those fancy electronics. It's always going to have it. So
Well, I mean, I think do people, when you talk about Ducati, do they really want the bike or they want the name?
The name.
The name. Yeah, I would say it's the name. It's the name. But with the name comes
maybe you, but not all of us would probably want it for the bike, but the name, most people.
It's the name, and it only comes in 1,000, so that's why they sell more thousands than everybody else. It comes in 1,000, it comes in red. Wow, there's a lot of red.
It comes in the 8s and 7s, but it's all red. Yeah.
If you don't know, or if you, like I said, if you just know the name, that's the only thing you know. It's just like thousands in red. They don't know that the Multistrada comes in the 800, 700, the V-twin, the VR, not the VR2, but the V2, all that stuff. It's like, but that's the only thing they know. They see Ducati and they see like MotoGP, and that's it. It's like I gotta have that. They don't know about the 748, the 996, anything else. Is it like
848?
848, yeah. They'd be like, what's that? Is it Ducati? Okay, I want Ducati. That's it.
So where does this leave the sport now?
In good hands. No.
Yeah. Because I'm a twin guy. I'm a twin guy. Like I like Ducati's noise better than anything. Like really? I would. Oh yeah. I would just turn this thing.
You gotta shake a can of shake a can of
change.
Shake a can of change. Shake a can of change.
It sounds like an old guy carrying his china, right? I would just turn that thing on. That thing would put me to sleep.
Put that baseball card in your spoke, and then it'll sound just like that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But where does it leave the sport if there's only going to be one manufacturer?
Well, I don't think it's going to be one manufacturer like these guys are saying because they sell.
I'm sorry, we are disrespecting Aprilia. We've totally
well, Bobby, I think up until 2027. No, up until 2027, it's going to be a monopoly for Ducati in GP. But after that, it's fair game.
All right, and I will say what Ducati's done over the years, they've really done a good job in figuring out what bikes are going to sell. When you look at their Scrambler line, when they brought that back, people thought they were weird, for lack of a better word. But there's a lot of manufacturers that started doing retro bikes and stuff like that. I think they might even help Royal Enfield come back with their bike and stuff like that. making the smaller CC bikes for new riders and stuff like that. All that stuff is Ducati doing that first. Triumph jumped on board, and then we saw Kawasaki and Honda and Yamaha catch up with their smaller CC bikes. So they figured out like the 1,000 CC market is not their bread and butter. But the fact that Ducati's been doing so well in the sport, it's easy to say it's easy for those smaller CC bikes to get lost in the sauce because of the Panigale and what that has been able to. I mean, if there was no Panigale, it'll just be BMW S1000. You think about it, because the Yamaha R1 was up until maybe 2015, 16. That was, everybody wanted an R1, but then something shift. And the Big Bang engine, all of a sudden, people were, racers were selling their R1s and stuff like that, and getting BMWs and stuff like that. So I think that from a marketing standpoint, they've just done a better job at selling bikes to young people. And I think it's in a good place. To say all that, I think overall it's in a good place. I think because of the Euro 5 admission, the bigger bikes are not necessarily going to be the most that you see on the streets anymore. But we all like racing, so they're not going to go away.
Rex, what was the because you was talking to the Yamaha rep when he was at the dealership. What are they doing now with the CC with the bikes? You remember what he was talking about?
No.
We were up at in New Hampshire.
Yeah, Freedom Cycles.
Cycles. They were saying something about, I don't know.
I don't remember. So, but to answer, I don't know. You got your guys' thoughts on that as far as like the motorcycle community. But I think it's in good hands. Quick.
Rex, remember you talking about the 2015 the Yamahas? That transition from the regular, they still have the inline fours, but remember 2015 when they started selling the Yamaha R1s because they had the cross crank plane.
Yeah,
cross plane. So that new sound sold.
Oh, that was so nice too, man. He on the track.
So that gave them 4 or 5 years of, hey, buy me. So that worked, even though Ducati was still, I would say, still right on their heels, because if you still had a Ducati, everyone still had that open basket, clank, 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 clank sound. And it's kind of like, that sounds cool. What was that?
Right.
So you still had that literally on its heels. Now that the cross, I can never say that daggone word. Cross plane crank. I can't say that 5 times fast. But once that kind of sound kind of dies down a little bit, it's kind of like, okay, it's an R1 now. But that open basket dry sump is always a panty dropper. So I mean, it no matter what, unless you can top that red Italian open dry clutch basket, win.
I think saying cross plane crank 5 times in a row is a prerequisite to having a Yamaha shirt on. I didn't know, but anyways,
not a prerequisite. No, it's not.
Wow,
I just can't talk like that. I just can't talk like that.
But Ducati is dominating right now, and I think the future is bright for bikes. So I think we're just gonna have to see. For the street scene, it's all very dependent, right? Like you said, an exhaust sound could sell bikes on the street, but for the track guys, we're looking at different things. Right. So it's totally different. So, and on the track, I mean, how many S1000s do you really see, and how many Ducatis do you really see souped up running at high level? Yeah. Few, right? Very few. But on the street, you see them all the time because they're insured. People feel comfortable buying a $25,000 bike. So I think you'll continue to see those expensive bikes sell on the street. Yeah, heated grips, heated seats. You know what I mean?
That was the big thing with the BMW S1000.
Heated grips and
I'm telling you, they were good.
Cruise control.
A factory cruise control.
Yeah.
I had one in 2014. I had a 2012 one, and it had them, and I was like so happy with that. Only in the winter time.
I will say this is how I don't know what the right word is for Ducati with doing this, but if you do a full exhaust on the new Panigale, you can't have cruise control.
Why?
It's at the moment, I don't know if they're going to override it, But that's the I don't know if they're just trying to say if you it's possible. I don't know, but I think they're just making a statement. I think not necessary because I don't see why they wouldn't have cruise control or heated grips because BMW can do it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But and you can get it if you don't do a full exhaust. So if you do a silencer, you can have cruise control. But if you do the full exhaust, there's a setting in the computer that you can't.
So you're telling me they're going to penalize you for having a better exhaust,
race exhaust, track exhaust, essentially. You don't need cruise control on the track.
Be a cool kid and look cool too.
You got to look cool. You got to sound cool too. You got to have the lingo. Yeah, you can't be dressed up. You can't be dressed up like 1999. Lil Wayne, and don't have the dreads and the gold teeth and talk the lingo. I'm sorry, you can't do that.
Yeah, but the ozone layer, Jordan. The ozone layer here. You gotta save the ozone layer.
This guy.
We're there, Bobby. I see you. We're there. Don't worry about
layer, Bobby. We're getting 250 miles a gallon.
That's to save the ozone, exactly.
I mean, you gotta call your local representative in California, right? Unbelievable.
I think the biking community in a whole is going to be good. With I think more. I wouldn't say competition, but definitely competition for sales. And they've always been doing that. Get the new technology out there, whether it be traction control, heated grips, GPS. What does the BMW not have? Navigation.
The S1000's got navigation.
It has navigation. Yeah, it has navigation. Besides it tinkling you, it has pretty much everything you can pretty much imagine.
And I think that's what killed. I think that's what killed the R1. The BMW is so comfortable, and the R1 is so uncomfortable. And you would think that would be a Ducati trait to be uncomfortable.
I think the bikes are going to start switching to that bigger tank with the hug around. They have to. Seeing the GP how they do the tank shrouds and everything is going to switch that way. Yeah, I can't see why wouldn't.
The Panigale, the tank is it's like my R6 tank compared to my 1198S. It's a fat tank.
But so the tank itself is a shroud, correct? Mm-hmm. But the tank itself is actually sunk in for better centrifugal G forces, and keeps the fuel down.
That I'm not sure. It's definitely high. You're sitting down in the bike a lot more than the previous version for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking you since you have 4 of them.
I've had 4 of them, not all at once.
I don't think the 1198 has a gas tank, does it?
It has a gas tank. It's a small one.
Like a Pepsi can.
Really stupid
it's very tiny waist.
Pepsi can. If you lean on it, you crush the can.
Dang, really? I didn't know that.
2.5 liters, something like that. It's like stupid small.
It says it's 4 liters, but I get about 80 miles out of a tank.
Oh my God! What?
It's a peanut tank. Same exact tank as a Harley Davidson 883. You turn it on, warm it up, go down the street, no gas.
Yeah,
just like this thing.
You got to carry your own gas then.
Yeah.
That's why
the only thing.
Pack. He has a camel pack, put gas in the camel
really?
pack. Runs a straw right into the tank.
That would be wild, yo. That would be wild.
Harley Davidson factory recommended.
No, which is interesting. The 25, I get about so far. I think I did like 120 miles out of that. So it's almost close to double on the newer bikes. But the smaller bike, that's like. And again, like with I think the BMW S1000, I think you're getting closer to 150 miles out of a tank.
Wow.
So it's kind of, they've figured out like, we'll give you the power, but then you can also just chill.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like about my older 15 R1 is that I can tone everything down, and I can actually extend that gas tank life a little bit more than putting it on A and then ripping it up, and then 60 miles later I'm on E.
Man, you don't think about no gas on a bike.
Well,
Cheetah.
not right about now. It's not my
$5. You put in $5, you go 350 miles.
Ozone layer, ozone layer.
We worried about tires. We worried more about tires. We worried more tires per mile.
I don't have a Graves exhaust on mine just yet.
Okay.
Oh wow. Excuse me.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on. I can't wait for the racing season to start next month. Let's shout out tell people how they can find you.
Go ahead, Bobby.
First. Go Baggers. Baggers are back, baby. Baggers are back. Baggers, we're finally back. We got rid of the belt drive. We got rid of the belt. We now run a chain, and we've always had heated grips.
Sold separately. Hey, you can get a hold of me at JL Unlimited at Spreaker.com. You can hit me up on Instagram and at JL Unlimited across all platforms.
Nice.
That's cool, man. Instagram is Cheetah740. YouTube is Cheetah740. You can check out the YouTube for like videos for Southeast tracks, races, a little bit of coaching advice, certain track breakdowns, just some videos, man. Check them out.
Love it.
What's up?